This video is sponsored by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform to help you create a website. Have you ever seen parts of yourself in a character in a TV show and been like, I don't like it? I don't like it. That's how I felt watching Sugar Sugar Rune. When I was growing up, I didn't have many people to talk about magical girl anime with, and based on the comments you guys leave me, a lot of you feel the same, which is why I'm starting this new series. And we're calling it Explain Series to revive your magical girl phase, because around here, let's be real, say it with me, it's not a phase, it's a lifestyle. Sugar Sugar Rune follows two girls who have been friends since birth, Chocolat and Vanilla. I think that there are only two types of people in this world. You're either a Chocolat or you're a Vanilla. Now, that being said, I've watched all 51 episodes of Sugar Sugar Rune, and all I can say is that I can't believe I didn't watch it sooner. It is everything that I like. The witch world, the sparkly, entrancing scenery, that like nighttime purple aesthetic, the in-universe lore, and more than anything, as an Ojimaju Doremi lover, it has little witch antics. It reminds me almost of a Saturday morning cartoon, in the best way possible. These two girls living in the witch world are chosen to be queen candidates. They are basically in a competition with each other. They have to go to the human world and gather as many hearts or ecure as possible. Vanilla is actually the daughter of the current queen, Queen Candy, who I have a lot of thoughts on. Whew! When we get to Queen Candy, let me tell you. Chocolat she's not of royalty, but her mother was in the last queen candidate competition. She is thought to have died when Chocolat was younger. These hearts that they get from the human world are the hearts of human feelings. They're very important. They're not just collecting hearts for the sake of collecting them to show them off. They actually have to use these hearts in the magical world. They use them for things like energy. They use them for currency. It's like really tied into the magical world. One of the big sayings is that the power of the magic world is built on the feelings of love, friendship, and respect of humans. And witches must cultivate the power of that love in order to have the world running in the way that they do. It's not really the best, they're depending a lot on human emotions for these things. Sustainably, maybe not the best way to go about things, but that's just how it works. And just like humans have multiple feelings, there are multiple hearts to collect. So I'd say there's about 6 to 7 core heart categories, but we mostly see 4 within the series. I'll put a graphic on the screen. The yellow heart is for surprise. They call it the piss heart. It has the least amount of value in the magic world. Orange is for infatuation. Pink is for limerence. Red is for passionate love. And those are the 4 main hearts that we see throughout the series, but there are other ones such as green, which is for friendship, blue for respect, and rainbow for amusement. I thought that one was so cute. We saw it in episode 13. The girls are throwing a little carnival party for the rest of the girls. They're trying to bring enjoyment and amusement to the girls in the human world. It's a really cute episode. This chart says purple is for lust. We didn't really see that one in this show. One of the most important ones is the black heart. I will not explain yet, but just remember the black hearts, okay? They go through a lot of trials and tribulations, but they are best friends, and that is the most important part of the series. They are so cute. I love them. Their dynamic is very cute. Chocolat is the more extroverted one, and Vanilla being the more introverted one. It's kind of like Chocolat was the extrovert that adopted the introvert. You know how that goes. Vanilla reminds me a lot of myself when I was younger, not necessarily now, but she's one of those characters where you're like, I know how you're feeling because I felt that same way. In the same way that I related to Chucky Finster, he was my favorite Rugrat because he was the scaredy cat. He was me and I was him. There was a cute episode that displayed their dynamic early on when they were younger and showed Vanilla being the queen's daughter, being the princess, having a designated nap time and having to abide by that, and Chocolat sneaking up into her room to get her out and sneak her out and have an adventure. That's kind of the dynamic that we're working with, where Chocolat is the one who brings Vanilla out of her shell a lot of the time. They kind of rely on each other in that way. Vanilla compensates in the areas that Chocolat might be weaker in, and vice versa. And at the same time, being in this competition, they are not bitter or mean towards each other in any way, which was very refreshing to see, honestly. When you have these situations where where it's two characters competing for the same title or the same prize, there's this edge of vitriol and kind of jealousy that gets pinned onto the characters very early on, but that was not the case for these two. They are very sweet to each other, very supportive of each other. Even when one of them doesn't get hearts in the episode, the other is like congratulating them. Chocolat might sulk a lot of the time because her personality isn't deemed as the most like socially acceptable or just the most popular personality in the human world, but even so, they're still always there for each other. They're never kind of laughing at the other, except for those two fairies, or no, except for that one fairy, Blanca. She was, ooh, I didn't I did not like her. She was so annoying sometimes. In any case, their friendship was so good, the best part of the series. However, this is a series that is about the romance. A lot of that romance shines a light on a certain topic. That would be the male gaze aspect of Sugar Sugar Rune. Before going into this series, I'd heard things about the show pertaining to beauty standards and the male gaze and what that means, and I thought this meant that the series would be a critique on the male gaze, would be commentary, the good and the bad, all of what it entails in society. However, it was kind of more so seen as the norm. Like it was common sense. These girls have to go around their community, their school, and try to capture the hearts of these young guys in their same class. Vanilla ends up having a bit of an easier time because her personality is very soft and kind, and it's quite easy for her to get hearts. But Chocolat has to do a little bit more. She has to do more tricks in order to get male attention. Things like prettying yourself up to attract as many guys as possible, the upkeep of your appearance to appeal to men. There's a short scene in an episode where Chocolat is dieting in order to get more hearts. And in that sense, it was kind of unfortunate to watch because Chocolat was using so many tricks, whether it have been magic or things like just like changing her appearance in order to attract guys, rather than being who she is and being herself. And so at some point, I believed that that was going to be the message of everything, that it's most important to remain who you are and be yourself, and the right people will come to you. And that just wasn't what this was about, unfortunately. In fact, I wish that were more of a focus in general. Like, at the end of the day, Chocolat didn't change herself in order to attract more hearts, as she continued to become more popular by the end of the series. But it wasn't explicitly stated that, like, she didn't change who she was and that was the reason why she was able to get more hearts. It just wasn't a focus. So in this way, beauty standard stuff was kind of all over the first part of this anime. And that's not just physical, it's also like which personality succeeds the most. Chocolat has a more extroverted, boisterous personality. Vanilla is more introverted. And in the magic world, Chocolat's personality is the more popular. Like, that's the one that's going to attract the most guys. But in the human world, it's flipped over, so Vanilla's personality is more favorable. Now, this is all very, like, it's here and there. It's probably just different in different societies, you know, like what kind of personality is most popular. It is notable that just because Chocolat's personality is more favorable in the magic world doesn't mean that that's how the majority of people are or act. The show's focus was mainly on what's most popular in the human world. I just wish that it was handled better because the lore in the series is so good, but these things do bring the series down a peg for me. There were certain scenes like episode 36 where a insert character, Waffle, very obvious anime only character. You know when a character is introduced and you're like, you're definitely not in the manga. Like, you look way too left field to be here. Waffle's nanny was saying, if you don't look nice, Usama won't like you anymore. A certain moment with another character where they say she's not the meek Vanilla she used to be. I think the male gaze aspect is just very baked into the show. It's very pertinent. I thought that when people said that it's present in the show, that meant it would be commentary on it, but it was not. And with the collecting of all of these hearts, there is a big wrench thrown into Chocolat's plans, and that wrench is known as Pierre. Pierre is an apparent human who we meet in episode 1. He serves as an antagonistic kind of character to Chocolat. The big thing with the witches in the magic world that Chocolat and Vanilla are both warned about is that they cannot have their hearts taken. If their hearts are taken, they are banished, their appearance is stripped, or they could even die from that happening. And here comes Pierre, cold as ice. He has blonde hair. He's tall. He serves as trouble for Chocolat. Chocolat seems to have a bit of a crush on him, but she's not supposed to have a crush on him, so she's kind of denying these feelings continuously. But he, for some reason, knows and is targeting her because of it. Why is he antagonizing Chocolat? And why does he resemble Glass, this legendary wizard who we see in the walls in the kingdom of the magic world? What is going on? The people around Pierre are his members. They hover around him. They're very protective of him. They get very jealous whenever another girl is giving him attention and vice versa. Because he's giving so much attention to Chocolat all of a sudden, we start to notice that these girls in this member group have black hearts. What are black hearts? Oh my god. At first I thought they were like void of feelings, no feelings at all, but black hearts, like I said before, black hearts actually resemble jealousy. They resemble hatred. They resemble solitude. These hearts, these black hearts, are very powerful, but they're also very dangerous. They're even more powerful than the red hearts that are considerably hard to get because someone really has to love you in order to develop a red heart. But the black hearts, being these jealous feelings, they're a little bit easier to obtain. But again, they are dangerous. A regular mage cannot make contact with these without risk of death. And the first black heart that we see is cultivated in Eureka, who is like the head member of the members. And it turns out that Pierre is purposely cultivating jealousy in these members by interacting with Chocolat. That is partially what his goal is. Take these black hearts, gain this energy that's called Noir, and gain power for the ogres. And he is revealed to be an ogre in this episode, episode 28. Now at this point you're thinking, what the hell is an ogre? That's never been a word uttered in this entire series yet. What is going on? And as it turns out, ogre is a slur. It is a slur. Okay, the story behind it is a little bit insane. I can't get over it. So there were 7 witches who created the magic world. 6 women, 1 man. They threw in the detail that all 6 of these women were married to this man. They went over that way too quickly. They kind of threw that in there and went on to the next topic. And I said, wait, can we back up? And they created the magic world. At some point, the 6 women start to feel a little bit sus about this one guy, all right? He seems like he's getting too much power. They're kind of worried that he might overtake and overthrow the magic world. So what do they do in turn? They overthrow him. They overthrow him, kick him out, kick all of his ancestors and anyone in relation to him out, outcast him from La Royaume, which is this kingdom that is the head of the magic world, to put salt into the wound. They call them ogres because they are these outcast people. What did the people related to him do? Absolutely nothing. But because these people have been outcast by La Royaume, they have no choice but to turn to the Noir, the black hearts, because they can no longer use the power, the energy, the currency that is present in all the other colorful hearts like we mentioned. And so that's their only energy source. That's their only power. And it's dangerous, but it's what they have to do. They have been outcast from society. Is this fair? And then they're called ogres. So anyway, they realize that they need more power for the ogres. They need more power, and they decided that having an ogre queen would be the best route. So they choose Chocolat. They zone in on her. Now, Chocolat, this entire time, she's obviously been denying that she has feelings for Pierre. She's not trying to get with any of that at all. So she says no. Of course she says no. All the while, there have been seeds, right? There have been seeds planted, seeds that have been sown. So the most shocking thing happens. The ogres have a meeting. They say it's been decided. We know who the next ogre queen is. And that ogre queen will be Vanilla Mieux. When I tell you, I gasped. I was like, the drama. They basically made the perfect person who was ready and willing to become an ogre queen in Vanilla. And why? How? I haven't said Vanilla's name in a while. What do you mean the seeds have been planted? The seeds have been sown? What's been going on? It's been happening. It's been harvesting. okay? Even though Chocolat is denying that she has feelings for Pierre, she's also been meeting him in secret when Pierre gives her an invitation. Because in her mind, she's going to get his heart. She's gonna turn the tables on him. She said, ha, little does he know, I'm gonna take his heart. Girl, come on now. The thing about this that is a problem is that Vanilla is very sensitive, and Chocolat does know this, but because she knows this, she tries to hide things from her, which has the adverse effect of quelling Vanilla's fears. It makes her more anxious. Why is Chocolat meeting with Pierre even when she says that she doesn't have any feelings for him? Why? Like, what is she trying to do? Why is she being so stubborn about this? Like, what is he asking her to do? Vanilla is stressed, okay? She's stressed. Not only that, but Chocolat is meeting with Vanilla's mom. They're having conversations. They're FaceTiming each other. Vanilla overhears a conversation that Chocolat has with Queen Candy. And in that conversation, Queen Candy says, "We have high hopes for you, Chocolat." And I thought this was an equal competition. I thought, why is my mom talking to my best friend in secrecy? Why is my friend not telling me about it? And why isn't my mom talking to me? Like, okay, Queen Candy claims that she's trying to be. I have such an issue with Queen Candy, first of all. But Queen Candy is insisting that there is no favoritism here. It would be horrible if Queen Candy showed any sort of favoritism towards her daughter, right? That would be weird in a competition where one of them is to become the queen to replace her. So she's not trying to give Vanilla any upper hand, any attention, but then she's giving more attention to Chocolat because of the things that are going on. The ogres are targeting Chocolat, Pierre, who's getting in Chocolat's head, antagonizing her, trying to take Chocolat's heart. So Queen Candy is contacting Chocolat a lot. But there is a favoritism there if you were not talking to your daughter in the same way. And not only that, Vanilla goes to the magical world. Now, they're not supposed to go to the magical world without permission, without consent from their guardian, who is Robin, but she did not ask for consent in this trip, it is true. Vanilla goes to visit Queen Candy to ask what's going on. Why are you talking to Chocolat? I'm being left out. You even said that you have high hopes for Chocolat. Is Chocolat the winner? Is Chocolat the winner? Has this already been decided? Because Pierre has been planting these seeds in Vanilla's head suddenly. Pierre is saying that Chocolat is already decided as the queen. This is how the ogres are going to get into Vanilla's head, by saying it's already been decided. You overheard that conversation. They have high hopes for her. This isn't even a competition. This is just for show. Vanilla needs to find out the facts. She goes to her mom. She might not have had the permission to visit the magic world, but she has to know. Queen Candy says, "You're believing things from the mouth of an ogre. This is unbecoming of a queen candidate." Why? She gets punished. She says that of course there's no winner that's already been chosen. She says, "I would have given Chocolat the same punishment. I'm showing equality here." But she's being so harsh to her daughter in a way that has not been previously seen. She's also not in contact with her. Basically, all of this is to say, you need to understand the position that Vanilla is in at this moment. My best friend is hiding things from me. The competition might already be decided. My mom isn't talking to me. It's just really bad. Not only is your mom not talking to you, but she's talking to your best friend, who's also the other person in the competition instead. And she just said that she's taking points away from you for visiting when she wasn't supposed to. Girl, Vanilla is upset. This leads to Vanilla's depression. This is like strike 40 at this point. And it just doesn't stop. It's like on and on and on for Vanilla at this moment. She walks by the girls in the human world cafeteria who are their friends. They're eating with Chocolat and they're telling Chocolat, "Hey, we don't understand why you're even friends with her. She's always just acting that way to gain attention from the guys. We don't know why you're friends with her. We don't really even get her." Girl. The thing is, this is a very realistic scenario, overhearing this kind of conversation, as well as being questioned on like why you're friends with so-and-so. It was just also sad to watch in that regard. But unfortunately, Vanilla does not overhear Chocolat defending Vanilla. Vanilla's already gone by the time Chocolat is saying, "Hey, don't talk about my best friend like that in front of my face." Like, in my face? After Chocolat defends her, the girls are like, "Oh, Chocolat, you know what? That's why we like you. You're such a stand-up person. Look at you defending your best friend." Like, Oh, I'm pissed. At least say sorry. No, but no, it's okay though. These are kids. We have to understand these are 10-year-olds, 11 at the most. These are some young kids. So this kind of conversation is to be expected. This is the exact age to be hearing this conversation. But in all these feelings that Vanilla has, Pierre is there to accept her. He's there to say, you are the perfect person to be Ogre Queen. So what does Vanilla do? She takes his hand. She accepts it. She says, if no one else can understand me, maybe he will. He's saying these things, putting these words in her head and saying, you've always been alone, even when there were so many people around you. It's just very manipulative, very smart. Very good writing, but very manipulative. I was very impressed by how the story turned out by episodes 38 to 39. And then we come into the breakup arc. Vanilla has joined with Pierre. Vanilla does not want to talk to Chocolat, doesn't want to be friends with her anymore. They get into a fight. They're fighting. They have a breakup. It's upsetting. It's sad to see them separated because they've been so sweet to each other this whole time, and suddenly 38 episodes, 39 episodes in, one thing you never expected happens. But it's so sweet because at the end of the day, Chocolat just wants her friend back. Vanilla is really suffering at this moment, and Chocolat is basically trying to get her friend back, and she never stops trying. Near the end, she's like, come back to me. It's so, oh, it gets your heart because it's so sweet and cute. Vanilla is like now this baddie. She has this dark black outfit when she transforms. By the way, this part is actually spoiled in the opening. Like there is a scene, a short scene of Vanilla with like the Ogre Queen outfit. I didn't know that's what that was. I would watch the opening and I was like, oh, look at look at this cute little fit they put on her. She's eating. Little outfit, little put together. It's actually a literal spoiler, but I didn't get that. I didn't catch that, so it didn't really matter, but I just realized like, oh. And of course, the other wizards and witches in La Royale, they're not approving of this new Vanilla who's now claiming to be the Ogre Queen. Because while all of this is happening and Vanilla is now being taken into the dark side, the competition is still going on. Queen Candy said the show waits for no one, actually. The monarchy doesn't stop for anybody, which I mean, like, that's your daughter, but okay. They're looking at Vanilla as this disgrace, really, but it's so sweet because Chocolat is still there for her friend. They're like whispering. One of them throws a glass at the ground in front of Vanilla's feet, Vanilla and Pierre's feet. And Chocolat's like, if you have something to say it to her face. It was crickets. There was no back talk. It was so sweet, even when they're fighting, because Chocolat is not approving of this in any way. She wants Vanilla to come back and she wants the competition to continue as it was. But she's not gonna let these people talk bad about her friend. Like, Chocolat, you are so good. She is such a good character. She's basically like, I'm going to be here for you. I am waiting for you. And also, I'm going to bring you back. Like, it was really on some Naruto Sasuke shit. I ate it up. I wouldn't say that this arc where Chocolat and Vanilla are fighting was like the best arc or my favorite. However, I think it's probably the best written arc of the series at this point. I really enjoy the silliness and the Saturday morning cartoon-esque episodes. Like I said, like that's probably my favorite part, but this was like really good. I was at the edge of my seat, basically. Now, all the while all of this is happening, Vanilla is in a lot of pain. The black heart that has been basically injected into her by Pierre and her original heart are at war with each other. They are causing a lot of distress, just sharp pains within her. She's in fetal position on her bed. She's crying out. It's hard to watch. Like, she honestly looks like me when I'm cramping. Like, it was just really upsetting. And again, they're still holding the competition all the while. Okay, Queen Candy. Then we come into the final battle, the final test of it all, which is also very good. Because even though Pierre has been the main antagonist, there's still some heart there. We do see glimpses of him being a good person. He does care for Chocolat, but he won't admit it. There's something odd going on, and Chocolat doesn't feel the same sort of animosity towards ogres that the rest of the mages and wizards and witches in the magic world do. Same as Queen Candy. She does not feel any sort of resentment and wanting to continue fighting with the ogres who are trying to like take over La Royale. So what Chocolat really wants to do is, one, get her friend back, but she also wants Pierre to be the good person that she knows he is. So we get to this point where Chocolat does end up extracting Vanilla's black heart from her, quelling her pain, and what could have killed Chocolat in absorbing that black heart actually becomes a revelation, because Chocolat is a filtre. She is a purifier. She can purify black hearts into white ones, same as her mother was. Interesting. But if she can do this with Vanilla, could she do this with Pierre? Could she turn him back into a good person, take the evil that's in his heart, and return his heart to a pure state? And there's a certain point where Pierre also wants to become a good person because he learns that he's actually not an ogre. He was kidnapped and it almost reminds me of Princess Tutu in that regard, but he was kidnapped as a child and adopted to become the ogre prince by the ogres. So he's actually just a normal, regular, magical world boy. He wants to become a good person too. He has feelings for Chocolat, but Glass, his spirits, the wizard who was expelled from La Royale, has taken over Pierre's body. It's like a really weird, confusing. It only happens in like 1 or 2 episodes, but it was kind of confusing because they were like, he's dead, but his heart is still there. And then Chocolat takes the heart, but then he's dead, but then they switch the hearts and he's alive. It was just a little bit confusing. However, it is true that Chocolat does find his real heart that they claimed to be gone beneath the black heart that had overtaken him. The way she found his heart was through these unicorn trials that took place within that last test. She learned different methods to like focus and sense his heart there. But an important note, there was an episode earlier on that displayed the wedding of one of their teachers from the magic world. And we learned some very important lore in this episode, which was really interesting, kind of funny, but also like it was a cute episode. It showed that witches can fall in love. This whole time, Chocolat has been seeing other human kids falling in love with each other, wishing that could be her, kind of feeling like it could never happen to her and it's not supposed to happen to her because she would die if she were to give her heart to someone. Witches must never give their hearts to anyone. But we do see in this episode that a witch and a wizard can fall in love. The only thing is they exchange hearts with each other. The woman takes the man's heart, the man takes the woman's heart. This is very heteronormative, by the way, but this is just how it's written in the story. That is the testament to true love in the magic world. And if one of them were to do something to betray the other in love, in life, they die. Oh. What? Okay. Infidelity leads to death in Sugar Sugar Rune. Now fast forward back to the finale episodes because Pierre is really about to die, and in a last ditch effort, Chocolat gives up her heart to him to save him. But then Pierre's heart goes to Chocolat. Now I was a little confused because so he did have a heart and he wasn't dead. But then they exchange hearts and then he's still dead. I'm like, okay. But even so, this was something that happened not because they were like, oh, well, they were in love with each other and they did kiss in this like magical dreamy world, but it wasn't exclusively the same way we'd seen previously with a wedding. They were saving each other and sacrificing themselves for each other. And in that was a display of true love. Oh my god. But Pierre doesn't die. He was actually spared. And it's detailed to be because the ogres were touched by the interaction between Pierre and Chocolat not feeling that negativity towards ogres. And Glass is the one who seems to save Pierre in this. There was a sentence spoken when Pierre is revived and it's, "You need take nothing when you have everything." But oh my goodness, how beautiful this scene was. I was just so into it. It was really well written and well displayed. And at the end of things, even though Chocolat is the clear winner here, like, she more than passed the unicorn trials. Like, the unicorn is saying, yeah, you got this, basically. The points are not counted because of the noir that was involved, and thus Vanilla is crowned queen because of her previous amount of ecure that has been gathered throughout the course of the year. Which is like, okay, but like, did you not see the very heroic moments? Did you not see the animation quality go up like that? You don't think that she should... Okay, all right. However, Vanilla does relinquish her position and gives it to Chocolat because she believes that Chocolat is the best person for the job of being queen. Like, they are just the best friends. I love them. But I still think it's a little fucked up that Chocolat was not chosen. I still love both of them though, so it's fine. It's actually fine. I'm aware that this is a bit mirrored in the manga, the Sugar Sugar Rune manga, and it's actually Vanilla who ends up becoming queen. But the manga is not something that I have completed, but oh my god, the manga images, the artwork are so good. It looks so pretty. I love Moyoko Ano's artwork. So chic. There's something so pleasing about her designs, and I honestly don't think that the anime captured it in its best light. I think I do feel like I need to read the manga, even just for the artwork. It's just so pretty. But I do love the ending here. It's like Chocolat is walking up with her crew, with Vanilla and Oo and Sol, and Pierre is coming up with the members. And then he kneels down and kisses her hand. It's so cute. I can't take it. Oh my god, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. It was so cute. There is a lot of space for continuation here. The issue with the ogres was not resolved. There was no peace agreement. They just kind of stopped trying to invade. There was no unification. Queen Candy never left her throne to, you know what I'm saying? There was no bringing together of the ogres. The situation kind of just fizzled out. There still is a problem between La Royale and the ogres. And they make that clear, like things have not been resolved. But I think the best thing Queen Candy did was really push on not fighting back when the ogres were trying to invade. She was insistent on everyone standing their ground, not pulling their weapons out. That was probably the best thing that happened. I feel like if there were any sort of war or battle going on, that the situation with Pierre and Chocolat would not have resolved in the way that it did. So I will give Queen Candy her props in that regard. But again, she really just sat on the throne the entire season. The entire series. There is so much more that can be expanded and worked out in a future rendition, which brings us to the special film that came out this past July, celebrating the 20th anniversary of the anime. It's basically a prequel animation. It shows all of the events that led up to that first episode in Sugar Sugar Rune. I did watch it in July. I enjoyed it. I didn't really have any sort of emotional attachment, but then I watched it the day after I finished watching the original series. I watched it twice, and boy, did I cry both times. Oh, and the animation was CG, but it like held everything, all of the detail present in really the manga so beautifully. The scenery, it just, oh my god, it's a gorgeous 6-minute animation. If you haven't seen it, you should. It was a special film, but this was also something to announce that they are working on a continuation anime for Sugar Sugar Rune. Do we know when that's coming out? Not at this moment. And I'm also not sure if it's going to be a reboot or a continuation of this anime. I would personally want a continuation because, again, there is so much more that needs to be continued and questions that need to be answered. It's really great that they left it off that way in that regard because, you know, it's a story that can continue. Even with Chocolat being the one who is queen now, there's still time in between when she becomes queen versus when Queen Candy, you know, gives up her title. There is a lot of time in between there that can be focused on. So I would like an anime that focuses on that time in between. There could also be a time skip. I wouldn't be very happy about that. You know, like if they just time skipped it and focused on Chocolat and Vanilla's kids. Like, I don't know. I kind of want to see stuff in between. I would gladly take it, don't get me wrong, but I would want something in the middle. But the animation is just so cute. Even with such short scenes, and a lot of it is silent with the music playing in the background. There's not too much voice acting, but you can just see their friendship playing out with even them having a little fight and making up within these 6 minutes. It's amazing. It's honestly, and it makes me so excited. And I don't know if that animation style is going to be used. And if I'm not wrong, Moyoko Ano is married to the creator of Evangelion. So that studio was responsible for this animation. And I think they might be working on the anime as well, but don't quote me on that. If they are, like, I would love that. Honestly, I just wouldn't want it to look like the 2005 anime did. Again, it just doesn't capture the designs of the original as well as it could. Obviously, they had more time to work on the 6-minute thing rather than a 51 episode anime where they have really tight deadlines. I'm just excited. I'm excited to see what comes out, and if it's going to be next year or the year after. I'm really looking forward to it. The relationship between Chocolat and Vanilla is what made this show. They are these two best friends, two opposite personalities. They complement each other. together. They work together well. They couldn't do it without the other. It's a story that's about chocolat, to be honest, but it wouldn't have happened without vanilla and vice versa. They're this perfect pair and they just make it stick. I loved my little silly Saturday morning cartoon episode. The writing in the finale was just honestly really good. I enjoyed. I don't know if you know this, but I have a website now. It's Doreimani.com. It's still in its infancy, but it's where I'm showcasing all of my future merchandise drops, my latest videos, and it just looks so much more professional to have everything all in one clean place. And I made it all thanks to Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform designed to help you sparkle online. Whether you're showcasing your art portfolio or making the jump to scale your fashion brand, Squarespace gives you the tools you need to grow your business, showcase your offerings with a professional website, and get paid all in one place. Their website templates make it so easy to give your page a nice, clean look, and designing them to look unique to your own brand is honestly so simple and fun. And as someone who sells handmade goods from time to time, more to come soon, hopefully, my favorite features are Squarespace's super simple online payment setup and automatic inventory tracker. It just gives me peace of mind to know that no matter who browses, everyone will have a seamless shopping experience on my website. So if you're looking to take your business to the next level, head over to squarespace.com/Doreimani for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use code Doreimani to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. What are your experiences with Sugar Sugar Rune? I feel like it is a bit more niche, at least in America, among the magical girl franchises that we seem to talk about. Did you read the manga? Did you watch the anime? Feel free to let me know down in the comments. And what are your opinions on the story? And how do you feel about Queen Candy? Is there any character in particular who you have a bit of a opinion on? Let me know. But that is all I have for today. I thank you for watching. I thank you for being here, and I will see you in my dreams. Bye, friend.